Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rakakodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to the hopeful elect hearing this word in truth and in sincerity. So this lesson is going to be quick, to the point. Pretty much going into how the biggest I told you so is about to happen. And I'm saying that on a broad scale, concerning prophecy, because as prophecy is being spoken, is being preached, there's this big push against it. There's this big unbelief against the word of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. And at the end of the day, the words of the Lord is what's going to fulfill. It's what's going to be fulfilled. This is what's going to happen. So us being on us doing prophecy, we're actually, on the good side. Although it seems as though we're losing, and the people of the world, they're winning, in due time we're going to see, we're going to see the fruits of our labors. We're going to see the fruits of the labors of these people in the world. Because Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, he's getting ready to judge the world, man. And we want to be on the right side, which we hope that we're part of the elect. This is Ezekiel 33 and verse 32. It says, "And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice." Right, and this talking about our people. They see the truth as entertainment. Jake is not serious about the truth. That's why when certain things come out, they get offended at it. They can't receive it. Why? Because they were not paying attention. They're not here to learn. They're here, for entertainment, to find the next laugh. But it says, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. They hear the words being spoken. Once again, that's why they get offended at certain topics, because they haven't truly learned the topics. They were not listening. They hear the words, but they don't do them. They're not living by them. Okay. Verse 33, "And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come." When the prophecies come to pass, the things that we're speaking through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, when these come to pass, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. And pretty much it's going to be a I told you moment. They're going to know all them Hebrew Israelites are right. I knew I should have listened to those Hebrew Israelites. Case in point, this past Sunday, brothers were preaching. The brothers were preaching, from West Palm. And, it was a Jake that came by. Brothers, was trying to, chop it up with him. Dude said, "I'll be back, in 2 seconds." I'll be back in 2 seconds. And lo and behold, he never came back. But it's Jake's like that, that's going to regret, going by the prophets, and not listening, that moment of shit is going to hit them, man, because at the end of the day, brothers that are out there preaching the word, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to reward you, for doing what he told you to do. And these people out here, those are our people that didn't want to listen, they're going to be judged. What I'm saying? Salvation is not determined off of, how many Israelites, have woken up by you preaching the word. Ultimately, salvation is mercy and grace through Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, and pretty much being obedient to his word. Who cares if Israel, the wicked and rebellious Israelites don't listen? You're doing what you're supposed to do. This is Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, "For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The Most High forbid, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged." Right? And in this current time we're in, there's a lot of unbelief by the world. Even those that know that they're Israelites, there's unbelief. They don't really believe, in the true doctrine are being preached by the apostles and the elders, the elder bishops on down, man. They pretty much, they're inclined to come against it. But at the end of the day, like the lesson goes, the biggest I told you moment is gonna come. When that famine hit, when that race war hit, World War III, when that's finally declared to the whole world. Because look, we can see it coming. We can see World War III coming, but these people out here that are distracted, the birds and circuses that don't really care of what's going on, they don't really, care to watch the news, it's going to be declared unto them that, World War III has happened. When the MOTBs is brought forth, it's going to be it's going to be declared that those Hebrew Israelites are right. Particularly of Great Millstone, man. All right, because the apostles on down, they've been teaching, what the mark of the beast, what the mark of the beast is for the longest, man. So when that do happen, it's gonna be made manifest who were the true men of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. As a matter of fact, let's go to the book of Hosea, right? Hosea 12:10, because it's gonna be made known who Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua was speaking through the whole time. Because right, up to this point, from then up to this point, there was should I say questions? Should I say? I don't want to use it's another word for it. I don't want to use questions, but for the lack of better words, there was questions as to who the real men of the Lord were. Okay, but as prophecy continue to be fulfilled, things are getting clearer and clearer, and it's going to be made more clear as to who Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is dealing with, man. So we already see that through the Spirit. I believe through faith that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is dealing with the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone and on down, man. I believe these are the prophets. But a lot of people, within Israel and of the world, they just see these as regular men. Once again, the biggest I told you so is going to happen. Verse 10, Hosea 12:10, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets, So there are certain men on this planet that the Most High is speaking through, that the Most High through his son Yahushua is speaking through, man. And once again, like I said, I believe it's the apostles of Great Millstone, man. And in due time it's going to be made known, all right, who are the true men of the Lord, the true prophets. All right, and one way to know who the prophets are is that they would be preaching the right doctrine, the 100% truth, not according to feelings, not according to emotions, but according to the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. And this is what the prophets are saying. This is what they've said in past times, and this is what they're saying now. Why? Because the prophets have a certain lot, which is, to prophesy, to say before. This is Jeremiah 28:8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. All right. So it don't matter, what time period they were in. The prophets were always prophesying against a kingdom. Before a kingdom fell, guess what? A prophet was there prophesying against it. The Lord's getting ready to take you down. Case in point, Daniel, in the Babylonian Empire, when what was it? The account in Daniel the 5th chapter, many tekel. Daniel interpreted that writing, and he let it be known that the kingdom is getting ready to be translated. All right, from the Babylonians to the Medes and the Persians, man. That's just an example that I'm giving, but that example can be applied to these times. All right, to know who the prophets would be. And the message of the prophets obviously would not be, all right, loved, would not be accepted by the world. As a matter of fact, let's go to the book of John. This is why the prophets are hated. This is why the prophets have been hated, all right, in the ancient world by our people. And this is why they're being hated today, because the message being preached is not world friendly. Okay. John chapter 16 and verse 1, it says, these things have I spoken unto you, that ye should not be offended. Right, because we understand that Yahushua have warned us of what's to come. Therefore, knowing these things, we cannot get offended. Pretty much the Lord was telling us these things, telling his disciples these things, and us in these times, all right, to prepare us, all right, just so that we can get ready for the tribulation, or the hell getting ready to come upon us by this world. Verse 2, it says, they shall put you out of the synagogues, and the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth the Most High service. Right? And how do the world look at the Hebrew Israelites? They look at us as evil, man. At the offscouring of the world, man. They look at us as the worst thing going on this planet. Although, you can clearly see that, what Esau is doing, all right, is complete wickedness. All right, the pedophilia, the homosexual agenda, so on and so forth. That's the wickedness. All right, but nobody has anything to say about that. Why? Because this world is evil. You know what I'm saying? This world is evil, and they're gonna look at what we're doing, all right, as opposite to what they're living their lives, what they're living their lives as. You know, obviously, if they're evil, they're gonna look at what's good, you know, as evil. All right. If that makes sense, Lord willing, that makes sense. You know, it's like two opposing forces, man. Verse 3, it says, and these things will they do unto you because they have not known the Father nor me, right? This world don't know Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Our people, 2/3 of our people do not know Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. That's why when you preach unto them, it bounces off their foreheads, you know, because ultimately they're not of the elect, you know. That's why, you know, I'm always grateful that I still know the truth, man, you know, because not every Israelite, as you can see, you know, has been ordained to understand these things, man. Verse 4, it says, but these things have I told you, that when the time shall come, you may remember that I told you of them, and these things I said unto you at the beginning because I was with you, you know, and that goes a little deeper. But yeah, the point has been made that, you know, the prophets are not going to be loved by this current world. They're going to be hated because of the message that they carry. You know, according to Revelation, the 19th chapter and the 10th verse, you know, it's the testimony of Yahushua, the spirit of prophecy, all right, which is contrary, all right, to this world. So this world is going to hate the prophets once again, man. You know, and this is how you know who the true men of the Lord are. As a matter of fact, I got another precept that just came to mind through the Spirit. Matthew 5 and verse 11, it says, I'm going to start from 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Right, you see? So the prophets, they would be hated. They would be reviled. They'd be persecuted for carrying the testimony of Yahushua. You know? But when it's all said and done, you know, after, you know, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua have showed his favor, you know, it's going to be made known that these are his men. Why? Because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to be taking care of his men, taking care of his elect, or through that tribulation, or through the famine, you know, through these different wars getting ready to happen. You know, the biggest I told you so moment is getting ready to happen, man. You know, verse 12, it says, rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. You know, so the ancient prophets, they went through the same things. Matter of fact, the ancient prophets, you know, they were being put to death by our people, man. Remember Jake, the prophet killers, man. They were doing horrible things to the men of the Lord, the prophets, and they're going to pay for that, you know. And these times, you know, they're going to try. You know, of course, we know that certain brothers are going to be taken, or certain brothers are going to be beheaded, but that's a win-win situation, man. You know, it's not something to be frightened of. Okay, but no, Salakia. For great is your reward in heaven, you know, because we're going to win regardless of whether we're beheaded or regardless of, you know, Salakia, whether we're beheaded or until Yahweh shall return and beam us up, and the Lord willing, we're of the elect, you know, we win. These people out here, they're going to die out here. They're going to be part of the lake of fire. You know, these 2/3 of our people, and obviously the heathen, because they have no chance of salvation, so they're finished anyway. You know, so that's the point. You know, the lesson was the biggest I told you so moment is getting ready to happen. All right, because prophecy, nothing is going to stop prophecy, man. You know, none of the emotions of these people, what these people believe, nothing is going to stop prophecy. Prophecy is going to roll. It's going to continue to roll, you know, because it's the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rachakodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect.